TakeTones.com. TakeTones.com.
Clearly got caught up in blurring the lines of friendship and business. I'm going to tell you the truth, it don't mix. You got to have a clear line. Hey, this is the business and this is the friendship. It can't be, oh, this is my guy, so he's going to do right by me. That cannot be the situation. I'm telling y'all, anybody who, like, this ain't even about them bums. Them bums is not talented. But for anybody, any situation, and you go into business with someone you consider a friend, never have the business be defined by your friendship. And that's what I believe was happening here. The business is defined by the friendship. So these niggas is now worried about their business when they feel like the friendship is deteriorating or they feel like Joe violating them. Somebody said, I can't hire my homies. You can. But what I'm saying is, define your business contractually, make it separate, then why you're friends. Because, for example, if you're not owed or expected to do something as per the business, not because you're friends means you should be then expecting the same thing. Do you get what I mean? Don't blur the lines. Yo, we cool, we homies, we chill, we talk, we hang out on these type of nights, blah, blah, blah. But not because of that could be like, well, usually nobody can just take a show off and just not show up, but that's my homie. I'm just not going to show up. You get what I mean? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Friends,
you owe your friends respect.
I am grateful for my friends, and because of that, my behavior I would hope it exudes that, no?
You owe your friends respect.
There's a certain strain of bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri.
My bad. Yo, chat. You know what? I'm about to get ad blockers.
Pace,
Not ad blockers.
when your friends, you
YouTube
built
Premium.
something with your friends, and your friends have built something with you, and have created something with you, and have grown something with you. Absolutely, you owe them respect. 1,000,000%. There's no way around it.
I feel I owe my friends respect.
Let me be honest with you. Again, when I'm saying most of these things, Joe ain't telling me. Bro, anybody with a brain can see it. Joe don't feel like these niggas were as necessary as they feel they were. I think Joe really feels like, it's my shit, I built it, it's an extension of what I've worked for all my life, gaining an audience through rap, through blog TV, through Joe Budden forums, through tweeting all the time, through being on Hot 97. This is an extension of that. Y'all have came along for the ride. And, y'all should be happy that y'all now have names and y'all are famous.
Of how I was moving with certain things. Mm-hmm. I explained where they came from, but I took accountability in saying, no, I do owe you that respect where I should not sit here and say that to my friend. I should have went to my friend and said, hey, not feeling what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to get caught up in semantics, but even as y'all speak, the word "oh" bothers me. That's cool. I don't have a friendship where I feel like
Yo, Joe, turn up on these niggas!
Which is kind of to my next point that I've shared with you gentlemen in private.
That and are connected, but they're not.
But we'll share it here.
The complete same.
Everyone internalizes things differently. So even when you talk about respect, that would have to be processed through everyone's individual processor, right?
Sure.
So you could be receiving respect and feel like you're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. How people perceive things and how they internalize things, and different experiences in your life can have you.
And the lines can be blurred.
Sure.
In friendship and business, yes.
And people value things differently than their friends do.
I take offense to Maul saying the show should have stopped. Every time he say it, I'm a find issue.
Joe, see Joe talking to a bunch of workers. Joe, let me tell you this. That Maul nigga, bruh, that Mealy Maul nigga, that nigga's a fucking bum. Joe, I'm going to tell you this. if you got to do the podcast by your fucking self in your bathroom with the iPhone microphone, this is what an entrepreneur does. You realize after being in that major label system, and that's why you've always kind of been independent and just forging your way like that, forge your own path. You're kind of like me in a way. Nothing stops the fucking show. Anytime, like, I remember a girlfriend told me that one time. We had some big ass like argument. And I said, yo, I need to do my 2 YouTube videos or 2 or 3 YouTube videos for the day. It didn't matter what fight we got into. She was offended. What? Like, you gotta... Shorty, this is my life's mission. I'm gonna always do this. I do this regardless. On one of the toughest days in my life, I actually did a YouTube video. And not that I really had to, but it was something, well, I kind of feel like I did have to, but that's the point of what I get what Joe is saying. This bum Mealy Mall, having not worked for anything to build something up, thinks that Joe should just indefinitely suspend the podcast till they sort out their feelings. What? In what fucking $1 million business does that happen? Who does that? Oh yeah, just stop the operation. Yo, one of the people on the board for McDonald's ain't feeling right. Shut down every store. What? What are you talking about, you fucking idiot?
Issue.
Why?
With him saying the show should have stopped.
Why?
Explain.
Well,
by the way, another thing. I know I'm cutting off a lot. This is a boss talking to a worker. You see, a worker, they look at, I've always said, I remember going to the complex, I'm going to like all these media houses. And they always ask me, like, yo, how many people work for you, Ak? I say, here's the thing. This is why no company will be the Akademiks, will be the individual creator who lives this shit. Because when they clock out, their obligation to that job is over. They go live a different life. A true entrepreneur, you work 24 hours a day. Your mind is always on it. Even if you're not actually doing something, you're constantly planning, plotting, working, doing things to make sure your business keeps going. And for somebody like Joe, of course, he's trying his best every fucking moment to try to elevate his platform. For these dudes, they're looking at it not the same.
I dedicate my entire life to this. End statement.
Exactly. You see an employee, they clock in and clock out. After they did this podcast here, Mealy Mall isn't thinking, how do you get more deals for this shit? How do you monetize it more? How do you take this and license it here? How do you do this? How do you do that? His job is done. That's a worker. If y'all thought me hopping on stream, you know, sometimes y'all be like, yo, y'all probably think like, yo, Ak, yo, your life can't be that hard. I know you do a lot, but still, you could still do mad YouTube videos and stream. Nigga, outside of this is a million other things that I'm doing to still keep the brand name Akademiks there. For somebody who works with me, if say they're working and they're doing a podcast or a show, or they're just doing whatever, they're editing a video, they work for a set amount of time, then after it, they don't think about it again. That's the difference between a boss and a worker. These two niggas sitting next to this dude, it's a fucking worker. After they do his podcast, they think nothing about it. All Joe does is obsess with his shit. All I do obsess with my shit. All everybody, I could imagine Gilly and Wallow. I could imagine Rory with Drink Champs. I could imagine Charlamagne with either Brilliant Idiots or shit that he actually owns. Yes.
This is not something where I come in here twice a week and talk for a few hours.
Think about why I call them workers. He's talking to the workers saying, y'all come in here and talk and leave. I have to spend my whole life trying to keep this shit up. How are you looking at what you do and what I do the same? Now the fans and the audience don't see it that way. The audience actually sees it like, well, we watch the show. You only see the end product. The end product is a show. I could imagine when them bum ass niggas left, Joe probably made like 300 phone calls. Yo, you free this week? You in Jersey? Yo, you in New York? Yo, could you link up? Yo, hey. Them niggas, we not showing up. They're on vacation. You saw one nigga who was trying to sneak into a Drake party at Delilah's.
My entire life's work lands me here. What are you talking about, day one? I don't view the days the way that y'all view them. This is a life series.
Okay.
All of the yesterdays, let me get my shit off. All of the yesterdays got to today. When it's your life's work, you don't leave it that way. You don't just leave it to chance.
I want to cut it off so many. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, this ain't like. Let me stop even saying boss. This is entrepreneur talk. Vlad, I know y'all don't like him that much. Vlad told me he said, act. And by the way, Vlad's always been a good guy. We talk business and stuff like that. Vlad said, act. The hardest thing you're going to find out being an entrepreneur is hiring people. And I was like, At first I was like, He said, act, trust me. He said, it was the hardest thing for me. It's going to be the hardest thing for you. And I didn't know what he meant until I hired a few people. Let me tell you what he meant. I could do every single job associated with running whatever you think the brand or company is of Akademiks. Everything. I could edit videos. I could fucking set up a set. I could set up any type of studio. I could fucking run the Instagram. I do every single fucking thing. I know to do everything. It's very easy for me to say, hey, okay, this part, I'm going to hire you that you do this. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Let me tell you this one thing. This is why Vlad told me hiring is the hardest. No one will ever care as much as you. Everybody at that point, they're just punching the clock. Okay, I got to do this. Okay. They're just punching the clock. Nobody cares the same way I do. And that is hard to make that trade-off. It's hard to put something that I worked I gave up so much of my life to get to this point, to just put it in someone's hand that I'm giving a check, that they're working. If I hire them 8 hours a day, they only care 8 hours a day. Or if I tell them, hey, you're going to run the overnight, they won't care as much as I do. They won't think 1,500 times about one particular thing like I would. It's very hard. And that's why I'm understanding what Joe is saying. I've seen a lot of people like get at Joe for this. And by the way, Joe ain't an easy nigga to deal with. He's kind of assholeish. Like, yeah, of course, all that is true. But when it comes to the business shit, I understand what he's going through because he's a boss talking to workers. And here's the bad part. The workers think they're bosses. It's all fucked up.
You don't just leave it up in the air with some of the ways that the three of us have handled communication. You do not do things that way. That's how Joe views it. The show has to go on. I don't have the luxury of sitting in my feelings. I don't. Joe feels a lot of things to the people.
This is facts.
People that might not be aware. I feel mad shit. At no point am I at liberty to come in here and just have feeling vomit. Me.
It's true.
I ask you, gentlemen, my next question. What other place in the world can this happen? What other place in the world can y'all leave some shit and then just return to it like?
Joe, this happens all the time.
And let's also.
These niggas don't get it. What Joe just said was powerful. These niggas is just looking at this like the same platform and luxury afforded to them. How big the platform is, its reach, is because it was built up. They could dip and come. Let me tell you this. If I stop blogging, vlogging, YouTube, doing YouTube shit, Twitch shit, if I disappear for 6 weeks, People move on. Let's put this in perspective again. If I disappear for 6 weeks, oh, well, I used to be on Akademiks page. Now I'm on Say Cheese. I used to be on Akademiks YouTube. Now I'm on No Jumper. Now I used to be like on Akademiks Twitch shit. Now I'm on this other thing. Yeah, that's what happens. So when these bum-ass niggas who are workers talking to a nigga who knows you can't go absent, you have to serve people you're a part of their lives 2 times a week. You got to give it to them. When they come out, I don't know. 2 times a week. Every single week. When they say, I'm in my feelings, you hurt my feelings. Oh my God. You don't respect me. I'm going home. When they do that, you know what Joe got to do? He could then say, let's blow the whole platform up, and maybe the next hot podcast who's coming up, they get our whole audience for the next 6 weeks. They might even come back. Or, shit, I'm going to have to bunker in and find some way to keep this shit going. These 2 fucking imbeciles who are workers don't get it. They sit there and look at Joe like, yeah, that's what you should have done. We're friends. What? Not in a multi-million-dollar business, you fucking idiots. Joe knows what he got here. This is a $1 million product. I could tell you Joe has a $1 million product because I just went through a whole deal getting a $1 million product that I've never done an episode on yet. So if I got millions for something to come and Joe been working on this for 7 years, I know Joe shit is $1 million shit. He's supposed to leave that to y'all feelings? That's what's going on? Joe ain't never easy to work with. I work with a nigga. He ain't easy to work with. There's going to be times you dislike him. Sometimes it's a trade-off. You dislike him, but there'll be results. And sometimes you might be like, listen, man, I'm going to just show up, blah. It's a roller coaster. But if I'm talking about an entrepreneur, if all 3 of these niggas were entrepreneurs, they would have worked it out either on camera or still been there. Or they would have made sure personally, like, Joe, the person who I want to fill my seat is so-and-so. Till we get on the right page, these niggas dipped and hoped the business shut down. Those ain't bosses, people. Those are workers. The workers that are on strike outside of Walmart, they're not hoping that Walmart still profits. They're hoping that Walmart shuts down. Why? Because they're workers. They're not shareholders. They don't have equity. They don't own Walmart. And this is what I'm telling you about these 2 dweebs. Jay-Z's pre-cum. Mealy Mall right there. Okay? And then we got that albino bum. Okay? The homeless nigga, Rory. Tell me if I'm lying.
So give
y'all just tell me if I be lying.
the facts of everything.
Yeah.
Let's not mislead the listeners of what's going on.
Couple of the clips.
I'm repeating myself. Yes, that's why I think a lot of this back and forth shit that we doing now is kind of pointless. Because it's separate points to what really happened.
But it's not pointless. There's some poetic justice in it, and that's why earlier I was like, "Yo, tell me any other workplace in the world where this chain of events could happen," because we start at y'all questioning maybe my friendship or my respect level, right, or just some things that should exist between us, right, and then we end with having to lean on that very same friendship to say, all right, all that other shit that wouldn't fly nowhere else in the world, it can happen here because that's my man. That's not odd.
I mean, we've done that for.
I'm not gonna talk to Maul because me and Maul don't come from corporate shenanigans and workplace stuff. You though.
That's where I come from.
You though. Tell me where that can happen at. You tell me. Come on, I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking Spanish.
But I don't know what you say in that
You
capacity.
say that
of
in
corporate.
another job you couldn't storm out and come back 6 weeks later. And everything's all good.
I've gone
It is
through
not
all this
possible
with
to do.
Let me just translate because these niggas is slow. Joe was basically saying, y'all keep saying I respect you. Yeah, when we doing our job, yeah, shit might get disrespectful. There's a lot of shit because we have some type of familiarity with each other, friendship. We kind of go off the rails, which normally if you're working a regular job or you have a business relationship, that's not the case. But that's the same reason why y'all are even back here. Because the same reason I could chalk that up that, yo, we could have these type of kind of things between us and still be whatever, and it's because we're friends. It's the same reason y'all are back here, because you can't leave any job in America for 6 weeks, just dip and just show back up, and you're still hired. That's his point. I get it.
with Palooza, that's also a multi-million-dollar business of friends having these same types of problems. So yes, you can say there's a corporate side of shit.
I argue
but
that.
we ain't corporate, and neither was Palooza. Did we partner with corporate people? Sure, but that's not how the infrastructure of our shit went.
Bad example.
No, it's a great example.
Horrible. This will never stop.
Thank you. Talk to him, Joe.
Palooza stopped because of COVID.
Joe, talk to him.
This will never stop, was
Talk
my
to
words. So it's a horrible example. There's not a world that exists
Palooza
where
didn't stop because of
Rory,
friends talking back.
my statement is not about Palooza. I don't care what you niggas do. I'm talking about this. This will
I don't give a fuck what y'all do over there, nigga.
never stop. It's y'all's to participate in like our fucking contract says. And
What?
there's no uncomfortable conversation in me and
Wait, did he say it's for y'all to participate like our contract says? Oh, Joe got these boys on a contract.
So yes, you can say there's a corporate side of shit.
I argue
but we
that.
ain't corporate, and neither was Palooza. Did we partner with corporate people? Sure, but that's not how the infrastructure of our shit went.
Bad example.
No, it's a great example.
Horrible. This will never stop.
Talk to him, Joe.
Well, Palooza stopped because of COVID.
This will never stop, was my words. So it's a horrible example. There's not a world that exists
Palooza
where
didn't stop because of
Rory,
friends talking back.
my statement is not about Palooza. I don't care what you niggas do. I'm talking about this. This will never stop.
Didn't I tell y'all these bum ass niggas was complaining about the contract with Spotify, all while their contract was only with Joe? Didn't I give me just be like, act you right, dog. Just say it. I only been spitting facts. They were talking about Spotify, but they only had a contract with Joe. Now they trying to treat Joe like he's Spotify. I told y'all this. Hold on, I can't tell you. Nigga, when I say this, facts. Nigga, if they didn't talk and reconcile this and third, the holdout was about to become legal. They were about to sue that nigga, bro. But all because of friendship, really. Because there's a blurred line. These niggas actually think they own part of the podcast. The podcast is Joe Budden's. But they believe they own part of it. Could they prove it? I don't know, maybe. I highly doubt it. It's called the Joe Budden Podcast now. If I'm the fucking judge of these niggas who come to court, Joe told me he was going to give me like 15% of the podcast one time. Wait. Was that before or after he named it the Joe Budden Podcast? He told me like right before. All right, dismiss, man. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. He called it the Joe Budden Podcast. You sure knew what time it was. Get out of here, nigga.
It's y'all's to participate in like our fucking contract says. And there's no
Yo, every time Joe says something uncomfortable, this nigga drinking from an empty cup. This nigga put his whole nose in the cup. Holy. Holy, like when these niggas get called out,
no uncomfortable conversation and me and Maul can have that change what we legally bound to do.
You see, this is why I'm gonna tell you why Joe's son these bum ass niggas. Joe the only one who willing to talk business, actual business on the podcast. These niggas that been giving you smoke and mirrors for like so long. When Joe they trying to make a little point, Joe brought it up, nigga. Our contract says this. We're legally bound to this. No more rebuttal from them. Nothing. As soon as it brings a contract and legal, Watch what they say. That's why you know they don't got no legs to stand on. They're workers.
I said that to y'all privately. I'll say it here too.
Sure.
There's nothing y'all could say to me. I said this in your absence. There is nothing a friend could say to me that ends the friendship. I need to see more. No, you have to do something, nigga. Your character gonna have to shine, but your words, that's not Joe. That's not to diminish anybody that happens for, but that's never been me.
And nor is it
That's
us
never been me.
because we sitting here talking about it. We gave the history of the last month of where people felt on certain things and when we was trying to go through shit. We sitting here now because we feel the same fucking way. If it was just based off, if Maul really felt like you saying the show's not your business, you think he'd be sitting here?
I don't want to.
No, he knows it's his business.
Rory, and this is where we just view things differently on friendship. Because Maul and I are friends or call ourselves friends, I would have thought we could get to the friendship conversation at any point. We're friends, which is what I called from Park's backyard and said, yo, dog, if you never pod again, we gonna talk. I said that. I'm consistent.
Hold on. Grand Wizard say, how go to where? 5120. All right, here we go.
Your job, Maul.
That's not what happened, Joe. Joe, you looked me in my face and told me this show was none of my business.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's what you told me.
I was there.
That's not crazy to you?
Joe, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to start translating for you, brother. I don't know why you don't tell these bitch-ass niggas the truth. Mealy Mole and Rory, you know why it's not your business? Because both of y'all have publicly expressed that y'all don't have the passion for the business that Joe passionately and dedicates his life to. Y'all don't care about it like how he cares about it, so why would he consult y'all on business move relating to it? The Mealy Mole nigga literally said that like he don't give a fuck about podcasting. That's Joe's life at this point. The other nigga say he don't give a fuck about building a network. That's what Joe's mission is at this point. So when he's making a decision about the podcast or a network, why the fuck would he consult two bum-ass niggas that clearly told him that their passion or what they want to do don't revolve around what he's interested in? Why? That's the whole point. He's not going to consult y'all on shit because y'all are still acting like y'all are too cool. Newsflash for both of y'all need a podcast to pay y'all bills. I don't know why y'all don't act. Yo, it's lame that these niggas are still acting like they're like, yo, I just do this because it's fun. No, it's your career. And that's why you're still getting hoed. It's your career, but you're still trying to put on a front like you're casual in it. It's your career. So when it's somebody's passion and y'all are still acting like, yo, it's kind of cool, he's not going to consult y'all.
Is that not crazy to you? If you say no, it's no. Like, I'm not here to put how I'm designed on anybody else.
If you claim you don't care about podcasting, how could podcast business be your business? If you don't care about it. You say you don't care about you say you don't care if you be potting. So if the nigga's making a decision on what the pod is going to do, why would he consult you? You don't care.
Bro, I'm asking you.
Well, if it's one thing that we should have all learned from this is you can't do that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
You can't.
I'm just asking you. If somebody told it's something you helped build and pushed and never really argued about shit, just kept, fuck it, let's keep it moving. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And they tell you years later.
Let's stop this. These are the niggas who like talking about business. You heard what that bum ass nigga said? They don't argue. Basically, what he's saying is like, they don't really care about business. They'll be like, let's keep it going. Don't pop up in the 11th hour acting like you ain't getting what you deserve business-wise, or now you've been shielded or business has been hidden from you. You basically said you were just going along with the ride. And this is where money come between friends. Let me tell you this. Is Joe Budden revealing to these bum-ass niggas how much money has been offered and how much money he turned down, and how much money he walked away from that made these niggas now care? They don't care about actually what Joe cares about. Because, again, Joe got money. So he could turn down 10, 20, 25 million. These niggas like, what? Now, granted, that's a proper reaction. But if y'all never cared before, don't care now. Y'all been letting him make all decisions up until now, or you didn't have a problem with it. Why would he consult you now? Because there's millions on the table.
Yo, this is none of your business.
I don't think I should have said that to you.
I don't think you should have said that either. But I'm asking you, if somebody
I
said it
also
to you,
do not think that was should have been, because I don't get to speak what should have happened, what did happen. I don't think it should have been the domino that you sitting here saying that it was. But I can't tell you
wasn't.
How to feel about some
that
shit.
wasn't the domino. That was like, oh, that was the okay.
Mo, you rode with Rory before that. How you think I looked at that?
What you mean I rolled with him?
That was the
About him, about you telling him not to come in?
About him, anything.
About you telling him not to come in? Of course.
Him.
Of course. Of course I'm going to ride with.
And I would like
He's
you
our
to
co-host.
speak to, I want you, I'm not dealing with him right now. I'm looking
that.
at you.
And I understand that.
I want you to speak to what that means.
He's our co-host. That fucks up the chemistry of this whole thing. If you remove him, if you remove you, if you remove Paul, it fucks up the whole chemistry. That's what you're not understanding.
Well, I hate to be the guy to break it to you. Oh, let me not say that because that's not true. I hate to be the guy to break this to you. I don't foresee any world in the world where you're supposed to ride with Rory.
What?
I don't.
How do you figure that?
And let's clear it up from my perspective.
Hey,
there.
How do you figure that?
I'm in the pod. I'm in the pod.
Let me be clear.
I'm here to pod.
Riding for the show.
I'm in the pod. You
Whatever,
looking
you in the pod.
nuts.
It's no,
Riding
no,
with
no,
Rory.
no.
I look nuts?
You sound nuts perceiving it that way.
Yeah,
it was
listen,
riding for the
that's
show.
not even-
It was riding for the show.
Yeah, like that's not. It wasn't even about Rory.
More wasn't like, yo, you my man. Like it was
not
the
to
show.
come and record. Like that was nuts to me. Like
Riding for the show is making sure the 30 or however many people that are attached to the show are okay. That's riding for the show.
no, riding for the show obviously two people that are a major part of the show have an issue, and you telling one of them not to come in, and now I'm sitting here like the riding part would have been, yo, let's all get in the room and talk about this. Let's talk about what's going on. But you telling him not
So
to
you don't
record.
even see a world where that even looks funny. You don't even understand
No,
that.
because it wasn't what you trying to paint it to be is not what it is. For me, it was simply like, yo, fam, that's our
Oh, wait,
dog.
time out. I don't want
That's
y'all.
our co-host.
All right, stop. Because I don't want this to appear like I'm trying to paint it away. I'm trying to get y'all to speak to what things look like from a perspective outside of your own. I'm not trying to paint it that way, so I don't want it to come off that way.
I totally get it. But what I'm saying is, you saying me riding with Rory is nuts. I ride with anybody I fuck with. I ride with any, like, if it's...
That's Jay-Z pre-cum, man. I keep telling you, he be swinging from ball sack to ball sack, man. Of course, he always riding somebody's dick. That's what he always doing. He just keep riding dick. That's what he keep doing.
If you wrong, you wrong. I don't care if me and you are best friends. If you're wrong, I'm going to...
Joe, let me give you some advice. Joe, I know you're in a tough position because, for what it's worth, you are friends with these guys. So you don't want to violate them. You don't want to do too crazy, but you want your business to keep propelling. Those two new dudes that you had on for like a month or so, or 6 weeks. I forgot their name. Ish and something else. People like them. Getting back to these two industry dick suckers might appease a good part of your core, but it's not what's going to make you go on to the next. Here's what I suggest you do. You got 2 podcasts. I think you should have, truth be told, you should have only had one. You're on Patreon now. You should only had one public and the other one Patreon per week. I think y'all doing too much work, but it's fine. Again, it's not my business to tell you how to do business. But if you're going to have 2 podcasts, you put these 2 dweebs on one of them and you keep the other 2 dudes. You got to keep the other 2 dudes. The other 2 dudes, they giving it up. And trust me, it's hard to find people that'll give it up. Because whatever outrage I think it is for Mealy Mall and Rory, it's because of fans' familiarity. As I said, it will take about 8 months for people not to give a fuck about them. But like, you're on Patreon, like you're not being supported by like crazy ad dollars at this point. So you want to please the people. And the people kind of like the core wanted them back. But truth be told, if you're gonna bet your money on anything, if you're gonna bet your future on anything, those two new niggas who's giving it up, and maybe they change later in time, but you got to bet